I'm Helen Joyce. I'm an author, a journalist, and a campaigner for sex-based rights.
All right, and you're here at GenSpec today. So have you gone to previous conferences, and why are you here? What are you hoping to get out of the conference?
Yes, I was at the conference in Killarney, which was amazing. I did the keynote speech at that, and it was, what I'm hoping to get out of it, well, I'm speaking here today, so that's one of the reasons I'm here, but what I'm hoping to get out of it is the same as then, which is to learn about the evolving understanding of a proper ethical approach to supporting gender distressed or gender confused kids and their families, but also to hear from parents, because these people are the people who are going through literally the toughest thing that anyone goes through that isn't understood generally to be tough. Bad things happen to people, but people understand that they're bad. These people are having a bad experience that people aren't admitting is bad. And it's quite tragic, and we need to hear from them directly to understand this work.
We are going to be hearing you speak later. Can you give us an idea of what you're going to be speaking on today, later?
So the title of my talk is How Do We Get Back From Here? And I don't think we can ever get back from here. You never go back to the status quo ante, but we can get things better. And I have some insights from lots of conversations, but also from polling and focus groups of what works to get people to understand what the problems are here. And also some thoughts about the way, we got to this bad place because this is a totalizing idea that people's identities cannot be questioned. But totalizing ideas, not only do they go across everything and link all with each other when things are going wrong, but they also all link when you're working back as well. So I want to encourage people to think about how there are read-acrosses between the different areas in which problems manifest when you pretend that sex isn't real.
And you're right, there are a lot of parents here. I've spoken to several. Is there anything specific that you would say to parents who maybe aren't here in general?
That's a really hard one because, it's not in my own family. What I would say is that traumatized people aren't the people who should be having to do this work. Like the parents that I meet, often, it does galvanize them, and that's great if that's what it does. But there are also parents who express strong feelings of guilt that they're not doing anything or that they're not doing more because they have to prioritize the relationship with their children. And I say to them, that's right, you do have to prioritize the relationship with your children, but traumatized people shouldn't be having to do all the work. This has to be done by people who aren't feeling the trauma, so the rest of us have to step up for those parents.
Very good. And anyone you're interested in meeting or hearing from this time while you're here?
Well, the morning we've just had was the highlight of the programme for me because it was a series of all of the therapists who are working in this area, and I've heard some of them speak before, but not all of them. But what really struck me is how their own understanding has moved on so much, even since the first GenSpec conference in Killarney, because these are people who are engaging in a reality-based way with this very fast-moving phenomenon, as opposed to in the total fantasy land, weirdo, bizarro world way of the people over in WPATH. So they're so wise, and they're getting wiser because it's changing, but they're seeing it and they're understanding it and calling things by their right name. So that's been the highlight for me.
Great. And where can people find your work?
So I'm a very far too active person on Twitter, so at @HJoyceGender, you can follow me there. But I also have a website, thehelenjoyce.com, where I put a lot of my own work, and I have a column in The Critic.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.